1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The head of state says the dawn of the new year motivates us to move towards a new meaningful height in life. 2021 budget, several tax amendments effective from today. The printing of driving licenses to be carried out by the Sri Lanka Army from today. Ports Authority declared an essential service. Concessionary period for cinema theatre owners to settle unpaid electricity bills. 273 reconditioned SLTB buses to ply again. In news overseas, Australia changes national anthem to reflect Indigenous past. Sports cricket, Williamson seizes top spot in ICC Test rankings. News in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said in his New Year message, the dawn of the new year motivates us to move towards a new meaningful height in life while providing opportunity to clearly understand the challenges we face at each passing moment. The head of state stated that we welcome the year 2021 with positive attitudes, determination and absolute commitment. President Rajapaksa stressed the responsibility of the government is to make development targets enshrined in Saubhagya Dakma policy framework a reality. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, in his message for the New Year 2021, said the government is filled with gratitude for the unfaltering support the Sri Lankan people have instilled in it to create an inclusive and safe Sri Lanka for all. In a shared quest to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, Prime Minister Rajapaksa commended the work done by dedicated frontline staff. The Premier further said, while 2020 was a difficult year for Sri Lankans and people around the world, it has been a true test of our spirit. The leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, says the main challenge in the new year is to defeat the threat of coronavirus. The opposition leader, in a message to mark the new year, added, this challenge cannot be overcome through divisions in race, religion or caste, adding that the world must come together in reconciliation and cooperation to defeat the virus. The printing of driving licenses will be carried out by the Sri Lanka Army from today. The Department of Motor Traffic said a South African company has been printing driving licenses in Sri Lanka for nearly 11 years. The department said the cancellation of the agreement with the firm and the transfer of the task to the Army will see significant funds saved. The department added between 60,000 to 90,000 new driving licenses are issued monthly. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority has been declared an essential service. An extraordinary Gazette notification in this regard has been issued by the Secretary to the Head of State, P.B. Jayasundara. Accordingly, any service provided by the Ports Authority, any work or labour contribution is now designated as an essential service. Sri Lanka National Film Corporation has announced that the Minister of Power and Energy, Dalla Salahaperuma, has agreed to grant 1 year grace period for cinema theatre owners to settle due electricity bills. The decision was taken with the aim of providing relief for their financial difficulties caused by the closure of cinema theatres from March 2020 due to COVID-19 virus outbreak. Accordingly, this will provide an opportunity to settle the unpaid cinema theatre electricity bills concerning the period from March to December 2020 in 12 months in 12 equal instalments. Around 194 cinema theatres island-wide registered with the National Film Corporation are eligible for this electricity bill concession. The cinemas which were closed due to COVID-19 outbreak will be reopened from today. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa handed over 273 reconditioned SLTB buses that were not in a running condition to the Sri Lanka Transport Board at the Golface Green yesterday. It was mentioned that due to restrictions imposed on vehicle imports, there was a shortage of buses for passenger transport. In order to overcome this situation, more buses will be reconditioned and reused, which will also save the country on foreign exchange on importing buses. The buses lying idle in 107 depots island-wide were repaired, spending 115 million rupees. The project is being implemented by Sri Lanka Transport Depot and Lakdiva Engineering Company. 176 more COVID-19 cases have been detected, increasing the number of infections reported today to 597. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said the number of infections in the country accordingly increases to 43,299. The number of COVID-19 recoveries reported in Sri Lanka, meanwhile, exceeds 35,000. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said 706 individuals were discharged from hospitals during the past 24 hours, increasing total recoveries to 35,329. Accordingly, 7,771 individuals, including 3 foreign nationals, are being treated for COVID-19 at present at 64 treatment facilities. And before we conclude the local news, let's take a look at the headlines. The head of state says dawn of the new year motivates us to move towards new meaningful height in life. 2021 budget, several tax amendments effective from today. The printing of driving licenses to be carried out by Sri Lanka Army from today. Ports Authority declared an essential service. Concessionary period for cinema theatre owners to settle unpaid electricity bills. 273 reconditioned SLTB buses to ply again. That ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddha Lepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddha Lepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddha Lepa Veda Mahatmya.
Several tax amendments proposed through the 2021 budget come into effect from today. Accordingly, the Ministry of Finance stated amendments on tax payable on earnings and withholding tax on interest income are effective henceforth. Tax payable on earnings was earlier imposed on persons with an income of over 100,000 rupees per month. However, it has now been amended to apply only to those earning over 250,000 rupees monthly. The withholding tax of 5%, which was levied on interest on savings accounts, will also be abolished from today. The Minister of Finance furthermore announced the imposition of value-added tax will be suspended on businesses with a cash supply of less than 75 million rupees per quarter from today onwards as well. The special housing loan scheme with a low interest rate of 6.2% introduced through the 2021 budget for public and private sector personnel will be effective from today. That was your main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddha Lepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddha Lepa.
Watchlight, the police have urged the general public to ensure they abide by health safety guidelines to prevent the year 2021 from becoming another year of struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic. The police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana stressed, therefore the public must take all necessary precautions such as wearing face masks, maintaining social distancing and following other health safety habits stringently. That was Watchlight. And moving on to development news. The headlines, World ushers in muted 2021 amid pandemic restrictions. Australia changes national anthem to reflect Indigenous past. Pope Francis to miss New Year's Eve masses due to sciatic pain. Those are the headlines, and moving on to details of the world news. The world ushered in the new year with pandemic controls muting celebrations for billions of people eager to bid farewell to 2020. Fresh waves of infections have sparked renewed lockdowns and forced would-be revelers to watch events from the sofa. From Sydney to Rome, firework displays, fire burnings and live performances will be watched online or on television if they have not been cancelled altogether. Restrictions are restrictions are in place on New Year festivities around the world as many countries struggle to curb new spikes in coronavirus cases. Festivities are being particularly muted in Europe amid fears over new, more contagious strain of the disease. Australians will sing a different version of their national anthem from today. After Prime Minister Scott Morrison announced a change to the words yesterday. The anthem will no longer refer to Australia as young and free in an attempt to reflect the country's long Indigenous history. The announcement was a surprise but welcomed across the government. Mr. Morrison said he hopes the change will create a spirit of unity. The line to be removed in the anthem, which is called Advance Australia Fair, is "For we are young and free." Instead, people will sing "For we are one and free." The Vatican said in a statement that Pope Francis will not lead the Vatican's New Year Eve and New Year's Day celebrations due to sciatic pain. This remarks the first time the Pope has missed the New Year Eve Christmas celebrations. Pope Francis was replaced by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, Dean of the College of Cardinals, for Thursday afternoon's year-end Vespers service, and Mass on New Year's Day will be celebrated by Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin. Pope Francis will still lead the Angelus prayer today as planned. And that was World News. Back to the headlines. World ushers in muted 2021 amid pandemic restrictions. Australia changes national anthem to reflect Indigenous past. Pope Francis to miss New Year masses due to sciatic pain. That was World News, and on to development news. The Highways Minister, Johnson Fernando, says the new Kalani Bridge project, which is Sri Lanka's first ever cable stayed venture, will be completed by July 2021. He said the government is planning to complete the elevated highway, which runs from the new Kalani Bridge to Athurugiriya, as soon as possible. The length of the new Kalani Bridge, which will run over the Kalani River, will be 380 metres. The new Kalani Bridge project comprises of two packages. The cost of the first package will be 31,593 million rupees, while the cost of the second package will be 9,896 million rupees. On to sports news. In cricket, Williamson seizes top spot in ICC Test rankings. New Zealand captain Kane Williamson has surged ahead of Steve Smith and Virat Kohli to seize the top spot for batsmen in the MRF Tyres ICC Men's Test Player Rankings after his Player of the Match effort in the first test against Pakistan in Tauranga. In Thursday's year-end update that also included performances from the second test between Australia and India in Melbourne and the first test between South Africa and Sri Lanka in Centurion, Williamson has gained 13 rating points for his effort of 129 and 21 to go, 11 points clear of Kohli and 13 ahead of Smith. Moving on to business news, the Sri Lanka Chamber of the Pharmaceutical Industry reiterated their commitment towards ensuring the availability of efficacious, safe and good quality medicines to the general public in the upcoming year. From supply chain disruptions to the adaptation of new technology, SLCPI as an organisation is fully geared to face the year ahead and has identified several key areas that are seen essential if the industry remains sustainable in the long run. And that was Business News.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh, no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The Sri Lanka stock market ended 2020 on a positive note yesterday, marking a year which the Colombo Stock Exchange has seen indices indicate noteworthy resilience and attract record-breaking levels of trading activity. The benchmark all-share price index closed 2020 recording a growth of 10.5%, the highest annual increase the index has seen since 2014, and only the 12th occasion the index has seen a double-digit percentage growth in CSE's 35-year history. The ASPI ended 2020 on 6,774.22 points. The overall value of the stock market, which is represented by the market capitalization, has also improved adding 109 billion rupees during 2020. That was economic news.
Hello, Puta, did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
In your weather update, the Meteorology Department states that spells of showers are expected to occur in the northern, eastern, north central and Ua provinces and in Hambantota, Nuwara and Matale districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the afternoon. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Galle and Matra districts. That was your weather update, and back to the headlines of the news before we conclude this news broadcast. The head of state says the dawn of the new year motivates us to move towards a new meaningful height in life. 2021 budget, several tax amendments effective from today. The printing of driving licenses to be carried out by Sri Lanka Army from today. Ports Authority declared an essential service. Concessionary period for cinema theatre owners to settle unpaid electricity bills. 273 reconditioned SLTB buses to ply again. In news overseas, Australia changes national anthem to reflect indigenous past. Sports cricket, Williamson, Switzer's top spot in ICC Test rankings.